everyone, and welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. I'm really glad you're here. My name is Melanie and I run my own small business called Melagurumi where I specialize in making and selling crochet plushies. Today's video will be pretty similar to my last one where I'll give a quick rundown of the month and go over everything I was able to make throughout that time. Considering February is the shortest month of the year, I was fully expecting not to make that many plushies throughout the month, but I went ham because I made over 100 individual plushies over the entire month, which is absolutely ridiculous. I had a running list of everything I wanted to make for the month, and looking at it right now, I think only like half of those things are actually crossed off, but in exchange I ended up making multiples of different patterns that I hadn't listed on that thing. That running list I make usually serves as a guideline for what I want to do for the month, not like a you have to get this done this month kind of thing. So I definitely give myself some flexibility on changing things out in that list. So yeah, February was a really full month. I participated in a few pattern tests and made multiples of different patterns to add to my inventory, and I'm really excited to show you guys what I was able to make. So with that, let's get started. Good morning. I have a surprising amount of energy considering it's like 9 a.m., but I think the coffee I drank this morning helped a little bit. Today is Valentine's Day and I made something a little special that I want to show you guys. I wanted to crochet something for my boyfriend this year and I decided on this right here. If you know, you know. If you don't, this is a character from the anime Full Metal Alchemist. This is Alphonse. He's the one that's in the giant gray armor suit thing. This pattern is by Crocheting on Instagram. He turned out so cute and he's pretty accurate in my opinion. Like I even have his little mark over here. Not the best embroidery I've done, but it's something, it's there. And then I freehanded this little heart right here to go with him. The initial plan was to have his arms holding it and having it attached, but just based on his size and the heart and everything, it's just separate. That's how it's gonna be. So I'm gonna leave these two at my boyfriend's desk, and when he comes home it'll be a cute little surprise for him, so I'm excited to see how he reacts. I've placed him on his chair so it'll be the first thing he sees when he walks in, so I'm excited to see what he says when he comes home later today. Oh god, I have a dilemma. So I just finished up 10 more mini whales, this time in pink. But the problem is when I use the lighter to burn off the fuzzies this time around, for some reason with this yarn specifically, there's a lot more of the ashes residue left on them. Yeah, I don't think the camera is picking it up very well, but if you're looking in person closely enough, you can definitely still see some of the ashes stuck to the acrylic. So I'm debating if I even want to add these to my inventory because quality is definitely something I keep an eye out on, and if these aren't quality products, I don't really want to put them out and sell them with people looking at them with the little ashes on them. So I don't know if I just wasted like a day making 10 of these mini whales in pink. I don't know what to do. All the other ones I already made in the different colors don't have the ashes that visible. Even the ones in the pale yellow aren't super obvious, so decisions. I just don't know what I would do with these if I don't end up selling them. Like, are they all just gonna sit in my room? I'll think about it. I just don't know how to get rid of all the ashes. They all look so cute, but we'll see. Good morning. It's 9 a.m. on Thursday, February 22nd, so we're getting a pretty early start to our day, but I wanted to hop on real quick and share some pretty exciting news with you guys. It's not technically crochet related, but it does affect my life and in turn affects Melagurumi, so it is kind of important. But today I am officially going to be putting in my 2 weeks notice at my current full-time job. Pretty exciting stuff. I've been with my current company ever since I graduated college, and I'm coming up on 3 years now, and without boring you with all of the details, I think it's about time for me to move on. So ever since the new year, I've been exploring my options and kind of seeing what else is out there, and I received a really awesome opportunity recently, so I decided to jump on it and make my move to a different company. So I need to give notice to my current company today if I want to be able to time everything correctly. I have a check-in with my manager at 3:30 today, so basically it's gonna occupy my mind all day until it actually happens. My new job will still be 100% remote, so it will really give me that flexibility to be able to spend some time on Melagurumi and crocheting as well. So I'm really excited to see what's in store for my career. For me personally, I'm not currently at the stage where Melagurumi can really be sustainable for me full-time financially. My personal mindset is that you don't have to live to work. My take on it is that work is there to supplement the fun stuff that you want out of life. So while I'm gaining really valuable experience in the corporate world and advancing my career, all of that is really just supplementing my hobbies and all the fun stuff I want to do outside of work. But yeah, that's just my take on it. Let me know in the comments below what your perspective is on jobs and careers and living to work, working to live, that kind of mindset. Let me know. So in the meantime, until it becomes 3:30, I'm just gonna be crocheting, catching up on YouTube vlogs, watching the latest Love is Blind episode that I missed yesterday, but I'll check back in after I give my notice and I'll let you guys know how it goes. My manager just messaged me and asked me if we could move up our check-in from 3:30 to 12:30, so I'm about to break the news even sooner. I don't know why, but as soon as I saw her message, my fight or flight response kind of like activated. Like I started getting panicky. Well, I have a couple hours, so wish me luck. I forgot to give the update after. But it went surprisingly well. I was super nervous. I was like so sweaty and my heart was pounding out of my chest. I couldn't like stop shaking my leg from all the nerves and anxiety. But it happened, it went pretty well, and I officially gave my notice for my current job. So I have 2 more weeks until I'm out of there and ready to move on to the next thing. You guys, I just finished my 50th mini whale of the month. So that means I have 100 mini whales total in my inventory right now, and that is pretty insane. I think the most mini whales I've ever had at one time was maybe 50, but 100 is definitely a whole different ballgame. I'm trying to get all 10 of the different colors to show you guys. There's just way too many. Oh god. So I have 10 each of 10 different colors of mini whales right now. So this green was the first color I made, this darker blue, this lighter blue, this kind of grayish blue, yellow, pink, these 2 different shades of green, and then these 2 purple ones. So let's see all 100 of them. Ta-da! 100 mini whales all in this little container right here. Here's a little peek inside the container. It looks so colorful and I'm like in love, honestly. This is just insane. I can't believe I have 100 mini whales just chilling in this container right here. I'm definitely going to be making some content with these. My socials have been a little dry recently. I haven't been super active on them. So I do need to make a few more reels and TikToks and everything. I'm debating if I want to make a few more. I'm not sure if 100 will be enough for the entire year. I don't think it will, so I'll probably have to make a whole bunch more anyways later in the year. But for now, I think 100 will do. I do need to focus a bit more on regular size plushies, so we're gonna take a quick break from the mini whales for a little bit, but I'm excited to see the collection grow. Let me know which color you'd prefer in the comments. And now I have a few whips I need to finish up. I made body parts for 2 different kuromis this past weekend, one in purple and one in black, so I still need to assemble those 2 together. And then I have these from literally the beginning of the month, and now it's the 26th. So I should probably just get it over with and just finish assembling this. But finishing this entire bucket is my goal for the rest of the week. I have 3 more days until the month is over, so let's see if I can hurry up and finish these. Hi again. So I finally finished everything that was in my whip bucket from yesterday, so let me show you guys how everything turned out. So first I finished up these little kuromi twins. So I made one in purple and one in black. This pattern was by Not Michelle on Instagram, and she has an entire Sanrio series. I've talked about her in previous videos before, and her patterns are always so well written and everything always just ends up turning out really cute. So I will definitely continue with making more of the Sanrio characters, but for this month I wanted to start it off with kuromi. I decided to make one of each because I'm honestly not sure which color is more popular, but I figured having one of each wouldn't hurt. Comment down below which one you prefer more. And then I finally finished my one and only Pokemon for February. This really cute Mew from That Nerdy Hooker on Instagram yet again. This Mew pattern was her January Patreon exclusive Pokemon pattern, and I started making it at the very beginning of February, made all the body parts, and didn't get to assemble it until today, the 27th. I've said this before, but I'm really not sure why sometimes I have the tendency to like make all the body parts for one project, set it aside and work on a whole bunch of other ones, and then come back to it and finally assemble it to like finish it. I don't have an answer for you. I really like how it turned out. The ear placement looks a little funny to me. I feel like it's a little too like pointed up, and I've been trying to shape it a little bit better so it's a little bit more like behind the head. But I still think it's pretty accurate. I even had to use some kind of like shapeable curling rod thing for the tail because Mew's tail is curly, and if I left it kind of just like stuffed and like floppy like that, it wouldn't have looked correct. And it's actually holding up its shape pretty well. I sewed the tail to the body up here as well, so it kind of stays like that. If I didn't have it like that, the tail would just be kind of like outwards that way, and yeah, I didn't want to leave it like that. So Danielle made yet another super cute Pokemon pattern, and I'm really excited to see what else she'll come up with. And then in between assembling all the Chromies and the Mew, I ended up finding time to whip out a small dino real quick. I've definitely mentioned this free pattern before, but again, it's by Studio Phoebe22 on Instagram, and I don't know, I just wanted something quick to make in between assembly for other projects, so that's why this dinosaur is here now. I didn't mess up exactly, but if you look at the top right here, I usually start assembling the spikes down the back actually on the row underneath. So I started it one row too early, and it doesn't look bad, but the spikes are starting a little bit higher than I usually let them start. It should be kind of like this a little bit more, but honestly it's fine, and it still looks fine. It's still a dinosaur. Like, I'm just being nitpicky about how I make certain things. So one small dino finished, and there will be plenty more. Hey everyone, happy Wednesday. So now that February is basically over now, if it wasn't a leap year, today would technically be the last day of the month. I realized that I haven't really had the chance to go over all the rest of the plushies that I was able to make throughout the month. They're all hiding in that corner right there. Moving forward, hopefully I'll do a better job about picking up the camera and just giving quick little updates here and there throughout the week instead of lumping it all into one filming session, because that as a task is kind of a lot mentally. So maybe in March I'll have a lot more vlog style type of clips. But anyways, let's dive into it. I think first I want to go over all the pattern tests I was able to do. I was selected to do 3 different pattern tests this month, and I want to show you all how they all turned out because they're all super cute. So the very first pattern test was at the beginning of the month, and it was for the super cute Pochacco. He's holding a little camera in between, and he even has a little heart bag as well. He turned out huge. Like, here's the size comparison right next to my head. So this pattern test was for Ash_does on Instagram, and the pattern was so well written, and I really like how my Pochacco turned out. So definitely check it out if you want to make your own little giant Pochacco with a little camera. And then the second pattern test I participated in the middle of the month was for this super cute Lucky Cat. Look how cute. He's waving. I've been getting into Lucky Cats in general lately. I purchased one really small one in LA back in August. And then if you saw my Anime Week in Atlanta Artist Alley vlog, I also purchased a Lucky Cat plushie from a fellow vendor, Sugar Cube Studios. And now I made one in crochet form. The pattern was by Primrose Fiber Studio on Instagram, and definitely check it out if you're interested in making your own Lucky Cat, because I just can't get over how cute it turned out. And who knows, maybe it'll bring you some good luck for the new year. Considering I finished making my Lucky Cat a few days after Chinese New Year, and I received my new job offer a few days after that, I would say it's an interesting coincidence. No correlation, just a happy coincidence. And then my last pattern test for the month, I finished him a little under a week ago now, but I made Totoro. So this was a pattern test for Danny Magpie on Instagram, and the pattern's already released now as well, so definitely check it out to make your own Totoro. But I really loved doing this pattern test. He literally just looks like Totoro. He's like the same shape and everything. One thing I've always struggled with ever since I started learning to crochet is long rows of body color changes kind of like this. Whenever I crochet amigurumi, my stitches have the tendency to kind of like slant, if that makes sense. Because I'm crocheting in rounds, the stitches aren't going to line up one-to-one all the way through. So whenever I've made projects with body color changes like this, the finished project will be kind of like slanting this way, and you can kind of see it with this Totoro right now, but I just took white yarn at the end and kind of just weaved it in to clean it up the sides, so you don't see it as much, but my projects have the tendency to do that. The only semi-workable solution I found so far is to start your next row at the next stitch, if that makes sense. So if I'm about to start the next round of color changes, I'll move my stitch marker one over to the left, so it's like the most recent stitch, and then that stitch is the start of my next round. Again, it's not foolproof, it's only kind of worked so far, but that's the only way I've been able to successfully make clean color changes on my projects without making it look so slanted, so that's what's been working for me. I also have a confession to make. I've never watched a single Studio Ghibli movie until 2 weeks ago when my boyfriend and I watched Howl's Moving Castle for the first time. That was my first ever Studio Ghibli movie. So I actually haven't watched Totoro before, but that is on my list and I will definitely watch it soon. But yeah, highly recommend, and I will be making an entire Totoro army in the future. So I made a few whales. This pattern is by Hooked by Robin, who I've mentioned before. She makes really amazing patterns and tutorials that are super easy to follow. She was the very first crocheter I discovered, and I essentially learned how to crochet just from her tutorials. So definitely check her out if you're looking for some beginner-friendly patterns. I ended up making 6 whales total, so 3 blue and 3 green. And then for these next few plushies, I made multiples of all of them, so I'll just collectively show all of them together after. But these next 2 patterns are also still by Hooked by Robin. I've definitely talked about this in a previous video, but I made 10 little bees. And then this next one I don't believe I've showed yet, but it's a little sea turtle. It's so cute and fits right on my hand. The very first sea turtle I attempted to crochet was actually my very first failed project. It was the very first project where I didn't finish it at all. I think I was like halfway through the body and I was like, this is not working, this isn't gonna look good, so I just completely abandoned it. But a few months later I decided to revisit the sea turtle pattern with the different yarn and different hook size, and the one I actually finished didn't turn out too bad, so I realized that the pattern wasn't too difficult, and I've been making a whole bunch of sea turtles ever since. There are also 10 of these sea turtles. And then we have a different type of turtle. I have this little guy. This no-sew pattern is by Megs Makes Crochet, and these whip up so quick. I made 10 of these so fast and it's just so cute. It's just another smaller option to add to my inventory, so I'm excited to make a lot more of these throughout the year. And then lastly, I have this really cute little chick by Haru Crochets. She recently released an updated version of her pattern that includes a whole bunch of different birds, but I had purchased the original with just the duck, mallard, and chicken. I haven't made these little ducks since October, since Anime Week in Atlanta, so it was nice making a few of them again, and these are always super popular as well. And here are all 40 plushies, so 10 of each animal. And today I had some time to whip up some leggy frogs and mini whales. Ooh. And that was everything I was able to make in February. I'm honestly really surprised, but pretty impressed with myself that I was able to make over 100 plushies in the shortest month of the entire year. If you think about it, that means I made at least 3 individual plushies every day for the entire month, which is pretty crazy to think about. So I went from only having 2 items in my inventory by the end of the year to now having over 200, which is absolutely amazing, and I'm really excited to see the collection grow. Let me know in the comments if you have a favorite out of everything I was able to make this month, and as always, all the patterns I used are listed in the description below in order of appearance in case there's anything you're interested in making. But yeah, I think that's it for today's video and February's recap. March is finally here, the season's changing a little bit, and I have a really big list of things I want to get done for the month. So definitely subscribe and follow along to see what else I have in store. But until then, happy crocheting, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.